All right, so this is kind of an interesting email I got from a guy. We have a Chinese banker friend in Beijing, Minsheng Bank. Minsheng Bank. This guy bought his apartment for 150. Says CDN. What is that? The Chinese have the yuan in the renminbi. Maybe is that Canadian or it's CDN? I don't know what the hell. Whatever. That Canada is not CDN. He bought his apartment for 150. We'll just call it K. Okay, 150K. About 10 years ago. It's now worth around 2 million. With this newfound wealth, he has bought houses all over China for his family and paid for vacations, car, vacation property on Henan. Or is that Hainan? He quit in December to focus on advertising loans. He did commercial loans for shopping malls. The richest man in China 2 days ago lost $1 billion USD. His wealth is mostly from real estate shopping malls. We've been to his shopping malls, huge and empty. Not to worry, ours are getting that way. They're kind of heading this way. The advertising bank did not work out. That job did not work out. He cannot get back to his old job because it isn't hiring. He had to take a loan of over $300,000 from a fellow banker by using his apartment as collateral. His intention is to use half to pay for the debts because now his previous bank, which he left, is calling in his mortgage immediately, and the other half to play the stock market. When we were visiting, I felt like they were cheap or something, just wasn't right. They used their stock account as their savings account. So when we went out, they would have to sell stocks to buy groceries or plane tickets. There was no savings account. The stock market was his savings account. So he is about to lose everything very fast. I have more stories for you if you wish, such as China's silver perception and Bitcoin of the people we knew. Again, this is people that they knew. Housing. Most of my wife's family own about 1, 2, 3, 4 to 5 apartments each. The way it works is if a family lives in an apartment which is about to get plowed down, everyone will be compensated with 1 apartment each. So if there's 5 people living in your apartment, you all are each about to get a new apartment, each of you. Yeah. So he says if a family unit in one apartment consists of both grandparents, 4, and the kids 2, and there's 1 grandchild. 4 grandparents turns to 4. They get 4 apartments. The parents get 2 apartments. The grandchild gets 2, not 1, but 2 apartments. Breakdown: 1 get 8 apartments from the government. That is where the overbuilding is coming from. I have so many pictures of empty skyscrapers, apartment complexes. It is insane. People are continuing to buy houses because all what they have done as far as housing is go up. Ownership is a relatively new thing to the Chinese. 60 million empty apartments made in China. Silver. I bought silver and brought it back to Canada, no problem, and this is family, so I tried to get them all involved a little bit, and not even one would listen. The silver premium is so expensive, and houses only go up in China. They haven't realized the kind of risk that they've put themselves into. When I went to stores to buy silver, none of the shopkeepers understood the financial historical importance of it. China has well over 1 billion people, the most billionaires, and for as little currency it would take to eat up all the silver in the world. If silver was being accumulated for what Western stackers think, China would have eaten it up before the soy milk cooled down for breakfast. Silver was the smallest portion of the precious metals area of the jewelry stores, and that is where you can buy bullion. I don't make a lot of money, and I know for a fact I could go into a store and clean it out of silver. Now gold, on the other hand, they have so much gold it's crazy. That is not rare in any sense when you're talking availability. And about gold, people were also not buying as much gold as I thought. Word on the street is that is ugly, not in style. No, in monkey see, monkey do. Also, that gold was a risk because it was beaten down so hard. Of course, if you look at what the government of China is doing, they're still buying, massive amounts. He's talking about people on the street, the mentality of the people, at least with what people he knows, as he said. Investments. They buy stocks because of the huge propaganda. We are in line, and our friend was day trading, waiting for lunch. It was so easy. Debt. Debt isn't seen as a risk. It's money they can get now, and they want as much as they can get now. Does that remind you of anyone? It's not keeping up with the Joneses. It's keeping up with the Wangs. Everybody Wang Chung tonight. Everybody Wang Chung tonight. China spurts out on their news about how much the US dollar debt they have, that they could take any shock. Our banker friend tells us they have 3 trillion USD and can use that for any slowdown in China. Well, they have used most of it, and once it's gone, game on. Bitcoin. This is parlayed by the government as something that criminals use. It is not an investment, it is not a store of wealth, and neither is silver. Housing is, and housing always will be. I hope you can get the message across that even though there are Bitcoin and crypto silver stackers out there, and maybe they missed the boat, probably not. These Chinese have not awoken yet to purchase the silver, and I will refuse to believe anything about how China is going to be the next coming up superpower and shining light for us stackers. Silver may reach a higher premium than the West only because they will not be able to source it. We had a family member who works in the government of a small town overheard 2 officials, not high ranking, but high enough to not have the time of day to talk to them, say that they are seeing silver a good investment now. They are seeing silver a good investment now. Crap hits the fan. China versus USA. You live in a country with 1 billion people with no potable water. Everyone has to boil water. Garbage everywhere. And no real means to protect yourself. No way to produce electricity yourself via solar panels. Count 8 streetlights whenever that's as far as you can see because the pollution is that bad. We were in a 5-star island resort which used so much water, beautification, that they used up the water aquifer. Grabbed as many and me had crap hit the fan mentality. Now grabbed as many plastic bottles from the pool so we could flush the water for 2 days. Other people saw me do this and started to do it the next day. I went out and cut down a bunch of coconuts for drinking water just in case this got real. It was fun. About a 20-foot long stick with a 2-foot blade on it. I guess to cut his coconuts down. And then just China, I guess. He says, you are going to see or already witnessing a massive slowdown in that country. We get family members, friends of friends to try to get us to bring them to Canada. The growth is over and it was fake. The West working class has no money to purchase cheap garbage and useless trinkets. Even the Chinese are exporting manufacturing jobs to cheaper countries like Bangladesh. We have a family member in the textile industry talking about how much cheaper it is than China. So hold on. China is exporting its stuff to cheaper labor? I didn't know it could get any cheaper. Again, this lets you know how, close to the end I guess we are. A show of success in China. Number 1, house, multiple. If you're successful. Again, see if this sounds familiar. Your nice big McMansion, your house, or multiple houses. Number 2, your car, BMW, Mercedes. Number 3, got a better job. Number 4, a hoku, like a passport needed for the city to go to school in your district. There's a video of regular Chinese people, what they want in a divorce. Every guy said the house, because it's so expensive. The woman all said they wanted the kid. Family has been destroyed. Fundamentals are destroyed. Conclusion. The Chinese banks are having a huge liquidity crisis right now. Right now. I know a lot of people who read shtfplan.com or whoever and have heard this all before. But I am a regular guy seeing it happen to my family in China. My co-workers in Canada, which I can share way more if you want. We are so much closer than any of the experts believe we are. People better get your stuff in order. Save in Bitcoin or whatever. Get a wallet, take it off the exchange or anything. Just get it off the third party. Silver, get well get any in as much as you can afford. It's not out there. I would suggest getting some small fractional pieces, if you can't. As far as like if you can't afford a full ounce or 5 ounce or 10 ounce or whatever bar. Preps, think that you have about 1 hour to do everything. Then it's shut off. Then the riots, panic. Bank account, savings account will be all worthless. Zero. Big fat zero. Get out before word gets around any more than it has. So that was kind of an interesting take on what's happening in China from a guy whose family is, boots on the ground. Very interesting. But again, China used to be a poor country, right? So now they're doing what we've done. Buying stuff we can't afford with money we don't have or credit, right? And without the means to really pay it back. And as he said, they don't even look at debt as a problem. If you're giving me the credit, I'm going to buy baby. Bye, baby. Bye. So speaking of bye, I am out. Have a good rest of your day, y'all. Take care.